Hey guys, welcome back to the channel right here on Port Royal Pop and another episode of Screen Time. Alright, so today's episode is going to be based around Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I've seen the movie now. I watched the advanced screenings at Event Cinemas on Wednesday night. It has since opened to the general public since then, so people are getting their chance to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which I liked. I actually liked the movie. I went to the movie, I enjoyed it, had a good time. It was a whole lot of fun for me. With that said, this movie holds at time of recording, this movie holds a 51% Tomatometer score, I guess. I can't remember, I don't know what it's called, but a 51% score on Rotten Tomatoes. 51%. Which makes it the second lowest Rotten Tomato score MCU movie of all time. Only one behind it, that was Eternals. So when I see that, somebody who enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, someone who liked it for what it was, am I disappointed? In a way. Am I surprised? After seeing the movie, not really. Given the track record of the MCU properties over the last couple of years, it sort of had big shoes to fill. I'll just keep it at that. All right. With that out of the way, today's episode is going to be around Ant-Man and the Wasp, but not so much Ant-Man and the Wasp, but more around the Rotten Tomatoes score and what that means for the MCU and what that means for Rotten Tomatoes moving forward. For more Ant-Man and the Wasp, so before we get into all of that, just want to let you guys know that we are going to be doing our credits roll in a bit more of a expanded format, so to speak, the brand of credits roll. So from here on, moving forward, we are going to do what's called a out of cinema reaction every time we go and see a big blockbuster film that we want to cover on credits roll, such as Ant-Man and the Wasp. We are going to do 3 parts. There's 3 parts of credits roll. Usually. Part 1 is we upload our direct, straight out of the cinema first reactions. So I've already done that for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's up here on the channel already. I've put that up there. It's the first fresh sort of thoughts we get walking out of the cinema of the movie that we've seen. So the most recent one being Ant-Man and the Wasp. So that's up now. The second part, and I'll bring this up now. The second part of credits roll is going to be a full spoilers live discussion. So we'll do a live stream. We'll talk for however long it takes to get through the good, get through the bad, what we liked, what we didn't like, some of our highlights, thoughts, theories, full spoilers discussion, live discussion. Invite you guys to comment and chat along with us as well. So that's the full spoilers live discussion, which is probably going to come maybe a week or so after the release, because we want to give people a chance to watch it, but we don't want to leave it too late because it's going to be live, so we want to sort of pounce, so to speak, while it's fresh in our memories. Plus, that will also give us a chance, so if it's a big tentpole movie like an MCU property or something like that, it's going to give us a chance to at least watch it twice within that time frame. And then the third part to that is after maybe another viewing, or maybe after really settling in and really thinking over the film, we'll upload our full review video with the final rating out of 10. Out of 5 stars. We do the 5-star ratings for the video uploads. I don't know if we would definitely wouldn't rate the out of cinema reaction because it's way too early. The full spoilers live discussion, I guess, is an opportunity to sort of gather our thoughts, gather our notes, compile a list of good, compile a list of bad, and then go from there. And then the full video review will be uploaded following all of that with our definitive score, the Port Royal Network's official score out of 5 stars. So that's going to be the format for Credits Roll moving forward. So, the out of cinema response for me watching Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is up on the channel now. Give it a week or so, we'll do the full spoilers live discussion here on the channel, and then after that we'll upload our review. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into the main topic of today's video, and that is, does the Rotten Tomatoes score actually mean anything, or should it hold a weight as to your opinion of the movie, and what does the Rotten Tomatoes score even mean? So, Rotten Tomatoes is an aggravator website. Let's just break it down to you for exactly what it is straight at the start. So, it's a review aggravator. What that means is that Rotten Tomatoes it compiles a list of reviews, critic reviews, and it creates a score based on the amount of good reviews and the amount of negative reviews, bad reviews. And then it comes up with a score. So what that means is takes the percentage of sorry, I'm just getting this up ready to show you guys. It takes the percentage of critics who liked it versus the percentage of critics who didn't really like it, and it comes up with the score based on how many liked it, how many didn't like it. And that is how Rotten Tomatoes works. I'm just bringing this up, sorry folks. So, should Rotten Tomatoes be taken into account when you're thinking or judging a movie? In my opinion, no. Definitely not. Why? That's because the percentage that it gives does not indicate the quality of the movie itself. The percentage that it gives indicates how many critics, professional critics, liked the movie and how many disliked the movie or didn't really like the movie. To base your assumptions of how good a movie is based solely on the Rotten Tomatoes meter is a disservice in itself. First of all, I've always been a big believer in that you should always watch a movie for yourself before you judge it. It is one thing to judge a movie without seeing it based on other people's opinions of the movie. I don't understand that thought process. I don't understand that line of thinking. I think that's just wrong. I think that's wrong. That's people who take other people's word, for a property or something. I think that's not a good way to form your own opinion of a movie. With that said, it is okay to be advised, I guess, about movies, but to go on and just take somebody else's word for a movie without actually seeing it for yourself, I think is a disservice. And that applies to movies, video games, songs, anything like that. I think that's, you need to see things for yourself to get the full scale of it. So what does this mean for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Well, let's go over to the website right now. This is Rotten Tomatoes. Let me just crop what needs to be on the screen so we can get it bigger. Just like that. All right. What does this mean for Ant-Man and the Wasp? Now, let's have a look at it. There it is right there. Ant-Man and the Wasp, sits at 51% on Rotten Tomatoes. What does that mean? Well, that means that 51% of the audience liked the movie. 51%, do my math for me, 49% of the critics didn't like the movie. Let's go into actually bringing up some of the reviews. Hopefully there's no spoilers on the... I trust there's no spoilers in the sort of... this little section. So you can see, just going through this... rotten, tomato, rotten, tomato. So you can see just off this screen... well, actually, there's more rotten there at the moment. But I'm sure if you keep going forward... yeah, look, it's a mixed bag. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Alright, let's get out of this section in case people see stuff that they don't want to be seeing. If I click that, does it go back? Yeah, there we go. So, once again, in layman's terms, 51% of the critics liked the movie, 49% of the critics didn't like the movie. That's what the Tomatometer is. It is not an indication... well, see, I'm trying to trick myself now. But it's not an indication of the quality of the movie solely. Obviously, let's say something had a... actually, we can probably look on the screen on the left here. All right. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey has a 14% rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes. To no surprise. Looking at that, you're gonna immediately think, oh, people don't like this movie. This is not gonna be a good movie. So when you look at it that way, only 14% of the critics like the movie. But you also need to go and look at how many reviews there were. Now look, there's been 7 reviews. 7, which means 14% of the 7 reviews hated it, and the rest of the reviews liked it. So of the 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 there at the moment. You can see the rotten, and you can see the one that did like it. Now, the other thing you need to look at as well, if you're going to base your whole opinion on Rotten Tomatoes scores, look at the audience score. This is from people who are subscribed or who have an account with Rotten Tomatoes, who are verified, have a verified account with Rotten Tomatoes, who have seen the movie. So there's a way that they capture who's actually seen the movie. It takes their ratings and their reviews. People like me and you, people like you and I, just the general movie-going audience that aren't professional critics. It counts that score up, and usually what you'll find is that quite often actually their scores are level, but when you come to movies such as Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, audiences are going in to enjoy a movie for what it is. They know this is going to be a wacky movie. This is going to be a thing. People are going in to watch Winnie the Pooh looking for fun. They're probably going to get that. 60% of the audience that have watched the movie, that are verified on Rotten Tomatoes, like the movie. critics are going in to critique a film. They're not going in, well, they are going to have fun, but they're going in to critique a film, which is why only 14% of that. If we come to Ant-Man and the Wasp, we've had 172 reviews, and it's split smack bang down the middle. The audience score is not up yet because it's just open, so a couple of days' time, the audience score will go up. And we're going to get an indication of whether audiences agreed with the critics or they disagreed in the fact that they maybe thought that Ant-Man and the Wasp was worse than what the critics were thinking, or maybe that they thought that it was better and they had fun. If I was a betting man, I would put money to say that the audience score would be significantly higher than the Tomatometer for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I think that's what we're going to get. So, in a nutshell, basically that is how Rotten Tomatoes work. It is a review aggravator site that takes 172 reviews, like it does right there, and it comes up with a score based on 52% of those reviews liked the movie, 49% of those reviews didn't like the movie. That's how you come up with the tomato meter. It should be one factor when you're trying to decide whether you want to go and watch a movie, your excitement or thing. It should be one factor. You should look at the tomato meter, you should look at the audience score, but at the end of the day, you should watch the movie for yourself to decide whether you like it or not, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. If I can see the tomato meter. I've read the reviews. I fully understand, but I enjoyed the movie. I liked the movie for what it was. Therefore, the tomato meter doesn't have much of a, I'm not too worried about it. Major studio like Disney, Marvel Studios might. Well, actually, they will. They will look at that score and they would be wishing that it was a bit higher. But for us as the general movie-going audience, we need to remember that what the tomato meter is, and we need to remember how it works. All right. So with that out of the way, let us know in the comments below what you think about the Rotten Tomatoes score on Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Do you think it's justified if you've seen the movie? If you haven't seen the movie, does this score change your opinion about your excitement levels of the movie? Whatever you think, jump in the comments below and let us know your thoughts. All right. Moving on to the second part of this Rotten Tomatoes sort of look into the MCU now. And what we're going to do is we are now going to look at the MCU properties based on the tomato score and where things sit overall. All right. Let's bring the screen back up because right there, I've got some movies that haven't been released yet at the bottom, so that's good. Let's go to the first property, Marvel's Inhumans. It sits at 11%. This was the short-lived one-season TV show that they tried to go with. I haven't seen this, so I can't comment. Iron Fist. All right. We might. Yeah, it is technically part of the MCU, the Iron Fist, but we might just we'll just skip over the Netflix shows and we'll just go to the Disney Plus shows once we get to it. All right. So, as I said in the previous segment, the only movie that has a lower Rotten Tomato score than Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is The Eternals. For a number of reasons. I like The Eternals. It is a movie that I didn't like when I watched it the first time. I have since watched it a few times, and my opinion of the movie actually improves with each viewing. And I don't know what it is. Like, yeah, when I came out of the cinema, I didn't like it. It dropped on Disney Plus. That's the second time I checked. Actually, I watched. You know what? I watched it twice in the cinema. For somebody who walked out of the cinema not liking it, I watched it twice, um, which is pretty standard for an MCU movie. I definitely have to try. I got to try it twice, um, just to get my full opinion on it. And the both viewings, I didn't like it. My opinion of the movie has greatly improved ever since the reruns that I've watched on Disney Plus. Um, yeah, there's something about the movie that with each watch, I don't know whether I don't know what it is, but my opinion of the movie improves. Um, and it's a good segue to just have a look at the. So you got the Tomatometer at 47%. Look at the audience score, 77%. Critics, 47% of. So remember, the Rotten Tomato score, 47% of critics liked it. The rest didn't like it. Come over to the audience score. 77% of audiences liked it. Go down to Marvel's Iron Fist, 37 and 67. Marvel's Inhumans, pretty much disliked universally. But let's keep going up. There is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And like I said in the previous segment, I can probably bet some money that we're going to see something like this for the audience meter. I believe that we're going to see something around that number, maybe in the 70s audience meter. That's what I think I'm going to get with. The next one up is Marvel's Punisher. All right. Now, this, I don't know what number this is, but have a look at this, folks. Of all, here it is. Of all of the MCU properties, the movies, the Netflix series, the TV shows, the Disney Plus shows, of all of the properties, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 hold rotten ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Only 4. Because when you go up to the next one, which is Marvel's Punisher, and then the next theatrically released movie, Thor: Love and Thunder, it goes up to a fresh score, 64% and a 77%. Look at Marvel's Punisher, 64 and 78. Let's just go up this Thor: The Dark World, which was, that for a long time, Thor: The Dark World was often hailed as, the worst MCU movie of the franchise, of the entire series. And that holds a 66%. 75% of the audiences liked it. The Incredible Hulk, the Forgotten movie, the second MCU movie, the Forgotten Hulk movie, 67%. And it only goes up from there. Iron Man 2, which is held in the same regard as Thor: The Dark World, often hailed as the worst Marvel movie, 71%. 71%. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, 74%. She-Hulk, the show that I didn't like, but critics loved it. And check that out. 75% of the critics liked it, 33% of the audiences didn't like it. Remember, critics are paid to critique shows for what they are. We as audiences go and watch movies and we base our opinions on whether we like the movie. We base our opinions on, in my opinion, how well we know the source material and how well we receive the characters. Look at She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Critics loved the series for what it was. We as audiences didn't really like it, and I'm speaking for myself as I didn't like She-Hulk because I don't know She-Hulk. The people that who know She-Hulk, the people that are in the know, they say that She-Hulk is a faithful adaptation of the comic. I don't know the comic. I don't know She-Hulk. I didn't like the series. People who did like the series said that yeah, it's faithful to the source material. But there you see, 75% versus 33. Age of Ultron, the weaker of the Avengers movies, 76%, even higher. Audiences loved it. Thor, 77. Marvel's The Defenders, the Netflix series where they all came together, holds a 78% and a 70%. Iron Man 3, again, held in the same vein as one of the weaker movies, 79%, 78. Captain Marvel. Certified Fresh, 79, Rotten Tomatometer. 45% of audiences liked it, the rest didn't. I'm going back, I'm trying to think around the time it came out. It came out in between Infinity War and Endgame. But if I'm being honest, I don't remember the backstory. I don't know much of the why as to why this would be a 45%. So I'm just going to move on from that one. We'll keep going up. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Disney Plus show. Probably one of my favorite Disney Plus shows, 79%. Black Widow movie made how many years late to the party? Certified Fresh, 79%. First Avenger, 80. Then it gets higher. My favorite of the Disney Plus shows, one of my favorites of the Disney Plus shows, The Moon Knight, 82%. Now here we go. The original Ant-Man, 83% and 85. That's a good rating. Critics love this one. Critics love Jessica Jones. Marvel's Runaways, that short-lived, ran for a couple of seasons on whatever it was on. And look, 84%. Good show. Wakanda Forever, one of the most recent MCU movies, 84%. And then it goes up to the big ones. Guardians 2, Infinity War, even Agent Carter, even Luke Cage. Ant-Man 2 holds 87%. Cloak and Dagger, like the obscure Cloak and Dagger, 87. 88 for What If. 88 for Hawkeye, which I know Hawkeye wasn't well received from people that I know, but audiences loved it. Doctor Strange, 89, 86. And look, see, this is what I'm trying to, the point, if anything, the point I'm making is that look at these critic reviews for the MCU as a whole. The MCU has been successful. The MCU has, has taken audiences, and look, we go up to Loki. The MCU has taken, look, even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for what it was, 95%. This is how successful the MCU has been. Look at the number one. Miss Marvel, 100% of critics loved it. Not a bad review on Miss Marvel. This is how successful the MCU has. Moving forward, looking to the future. Have we had a string of bad MCU movies? It's up to opinion, but generally, when you look at Multiverse of Madness, when you look at the Disney Plus shows, when you look at everything, in my humble opinion, no, the MCU is not going to take a hit. This Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which I'll get into the full talk about it in the credits roll, spoiler live discussion, but this 51% is nothing to be concerned about. The MCU has had such a great track record and has a high respect within the movie world that when you talk about things like superhero fatigue and all that, that's a myth. Superhero fatigue is a myth. There's no such thing as superhero fatigue. Just look at the amount of money that the last few MCU movies have made. Look at the viewing numbers. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is the most watched Marvel movie on Disney Plus. What does that say? That says people are watching it over and over again. So, if there is a point to all this rambling, at the point to all these stats, it's that from today's video is that don't base your whole opinion off Rotten Tomatoes and the Tomatometer. Use it as one factor, if anything. Use it as one factor to get a sense of what critics are thinking about the movie. All right. So there you go. Only to wrap it all up in a nice little bow, only 4 of the entire MCU property holds a rotten rating from Rotten Tomatoes. Only 4. Which means, and I think there was maybe only 2 holds a bad rating for audience viewers. Only 2. Which to me says that the MCU is a juggernaut that is not slowing down, is hitting a few speed bumps. Ant-Man and the Wasp has divided critics straight down the middle, but for things to come in for the next step, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy coming up, we've got all these other great movies coming up. This could be, and it's already happened. Kevin Feige has already stated that there's too many Disney Plus shows. We're going to scale back. I'm going to focus on quality over quantity. And I think that this 51% that they're seeing for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is going to be the wake-up call that the MCU takes on board and takes us into the future. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about the state of the MCU in terms of Rotten Tomatometer? What do you think of the 51%? And what are your thoughts in general about the fact that only 4 of the MCU movies holds a rotten rating on it, the Rotten Tomatoes? The rest are fresh, certified fresh. What are your thoughts? Whatever you think, jump into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. And that is going to do it for today's episode of Screen Time on Pop. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, please do leave a thumbs up. We really do appreciate that if you support the channel like that. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this content and hit that notification bell to stay up to date for our next upload. Thanks for watching Screen Time on Pop. See you next time.